Well, the hula girl just got Klinko twinkulated right at the beginning of the show, so that's not a good way to start. Anyway, mid-1970s, Sony Trinitron portable color set, KV1212, KV1212. This is in for repair. And that's where the hula girl once was, but like I said, she's been Klinko twinkulated, so no more twerking. Trinitron by Sony. These are cute. The CRTs don't last a long time. They got a lot better. So this is definitely not something you want to just run the life out of, if the life hasn't already been run out of it. So I'm going to see, where's the power? Okay, let's put power here. The owner's already plugged it in and said the vertical did not work. So let's verify that. We'll turn the picture all the way down, which it already was all the way down. So that's a good thing. Do we have any other controls here? Here we go. I know it looks super bright, but it's really not. That is super bright. The controls need to be cleaned, obviously, so that's easy. Looks like we have snow here, so that's a good thing. And this looks like we have color. So this looks promising. It looks like it's getting bigger, is it not? Bad capacitors, possibly. It's interesting that it's bright over here. Probably a lot of bad capacitors. Is it getting bigger or is it just me? Let's give this a minute. Because if it's getting bigger, that would definitely suggest bad electrolytic capacitors. And it is getting bigger. It's not my imagination. Yep, it's definitely growing. Look at it go. All right. I don't want to run it because it's easier to locate dead capacitors that are not reformed. Check this out. Dude, you freaking scored, man. That's reasonably priced. And I'm surprised Goodwill did not e-waste this thing. Wow. Go buy a lottery ticket because you're due to win. And it looks bright too, like it's got a good CRT. Let's get this opened up. There are 2 SAMs for KV1212. We need the chassis number. Alright, well this is pretty standard. This is not the super early one that's super hard to work on. So I have fixed enough of these. This one should be pretty easy for me. It's just mostly going to be capacitors. This does have the blue, those blue Mets, or this is Nippon Kimicon. Anyway, probably needs a total recap. I am not going to do a total recap. I don't have the time or the patience right now. It's like a $150 an hour thing. So what we want to do is get to this board where the vertical deflection is and just start testing those capacitors. Yeah, changing these is not hard, you know, just it's very straightforward. There's a value on them that's pretty critical, and there's a positive and negative on them, and you just pull them out with a soldering iron. You don't even have to use solder wick. Just heat up one side, rock it that away from there, then heat up the other side, rock it back and forth until you get it out. They're real easy. There's nothing hard about this. Sony really built these things to be easy to service. God, I'm stuttering a lot. You can see 2 screws and this hinges out. You don't have to discharge the CRT and worry about all that. That's all overhyped stuff. You're not disconnecting the CRT. You're not touching that. You're just doing capacitors. And these are the capacitors that are probably all open. The black ones are just as bad as the blue ones. So here's a 4.7 microfarad at 160 that's dead. And I have a feeling a lot of these bigger ones are shorted and ready to blow up. I think if I left it on, they'd get hot and they'd vent. Here's another one. It's like a 47 microfarad at 100 volt. Dead. I really think this is mostly just going to be a case of make a list of all these capacitors, get them, change them, and it's going to work, and do just do a little setup on it, and yeah, that's going to leave for a pretty boring video. I mean, just changing a bunch of capacitors. I mean, I guess some people will be able to cancel their reservation at the brothel tonight, but for most of us, I think we would be much more interested in some type of fault-finding, troubleshooting, problem-seeking, smoke-filled pleasure, you know. And this is going to be a pretty simple one. So that's all I'm really going to do to start. I'm just going to make a list of all these capacitors because they're all bad. Usually I don't see them where they're all bad, but these are all bad. These are all bad. So that one was completely open. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's probably going to be like 16 or 17 caps that have to be changed. I did take a bunch of pictures of the back of this board. So when I start flexing it back and forth and the wires start breaking off, I have a reference as to where they go. Now, I don't know about these caps down in here. I would really rather not get involved in that because you have a lot of these metal cans and then you have a lot of metal cans on the bottom. And that, I'm just hoping those are good. That's probably not the case. So we're going to start with here. So all I'm going to do is make a list, you know. 100 volt at 20 microfarads. So we're going to go for something around 100 volt at 22 microfarads. 6.3 volts at 330. So we'll do probably be hard to get a 6.3 volt. So we'll probably do a 25 volt at 330. What do we got here? 50 volt at 330. 50 volt at 33. I bet that's open. Let me check that. And here we got a 10 at 50. Let me check those. Well, these are measuring okay down at the bottom of the board. Maybe that's because the heat was concentrated up here around these. I suspect these are the vertical output transistors, this one and this one. Maybe the heat was concentrated up here so it baked them dry. I don't know. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go through and test each one of them and make a list. Let me reach out to the owner of the set and see what his desire is. So I was looking for the chassis number and right here it fell off. So this is an SCC17BC. Like I said, when you look this up in the SAMs by the model number, it gives you 2 or 3 options for SAMs. You need the chassis number, the SCC. So I'm gonna glue this back on right now. Let me try and figure out where it came from. Maybe I'll just glue it right there. I talked to the owner of the set, and he's totally cool with me just going through and testing all the capacitors and fixing it, getting it working, making sure there's nothing else. And I told him, listen, you can recap it if you want. We got a local parts house here. You just get the value and replace them. They're not hard to change. Very small learning curve in changing electrolytic capacitors. I'm just not interested in spending a bunch of time doing menial parts changing, boring, repetitious parts changing stuff. If it's not challenging and doesn't, make my brain work, then I'm not really interested in it right now. I got a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to test these capacitors, and I'm going to mark them on the top. I'm going to mark the ones that test okay with yellow and the ones that test bad with red. So caution and replace. Got all the capacitors marked here. It's about 50-50. Definitely all the high voltage, low microfarad ones are open. And there's one, I checked as many of these as I could. There's one down here that's open. It's a 1 microfarad. It's hard to see. 1 microfarad at 160. And this one here is pretty tired also. This is a 0.47 at 500. So I'll probably have to make that out of 2 1s. You can take a look at the comments below and see the bots that commented on my first few lines in the opening of the video that are simply just responding to the closed captioning, voice to text, however it decoded what I said. Anyway, I made a list of the capacitors here that are bad. Not too many different values. There's a lot of every 4.7 microfarad is open. So I need three 4.7s, a 2.2, a 10, 22, can't lose with 22, is a 1, a 33, so yeah, just a typical variety. Shouldn't be a big deal. I have acquired electrolytic capacitors, and I'm going to show you how I change just one, and you don't need anything fancy, soldering station and $50 roll of solder braid and all of that. All you need is just a 35 to 50 watt iron and a little bit of patience. And I'll try and hold this thing in my mouth because I can't get a tripod in here. And I'll show you how I change this. Now the first thing you want to do is note the polarity, which we'll do this big blue one. So negative is on the bottom. It's usually marked on the board too. You can see it right there. But the way they got that wire folded over to there, so we're going to have to deal with that. So you see how on the polarity it shows the small one inside of the big one? Like the small one is positive, the big one is negative. Just going to use a rocking motion, like you're just going to pull it up and then push it down. Okay, so that was pretty crude. The iron's not hot enough yet, but you get the idea. So here's the new one. Here's the replacement, this is a 33 at 160. So we have 35 and the ESR is 0.59. Here's the old one, which really wasn't bad. I just changed it because I thought it might get leaky. But it's gone up to 54. But the ESR is still good. So this one's still good. And you can sort of see that by looking at it. But yeah, now just to clean off the holes, just kind of take the iron and this is professionalism here, but I'm trying to make sure your tip is very dirty and has chunks. But yeah, just sort of take and move the solder away from the holes. And that way you can just stick the new one in. Again, observing the polarity that the negative goes on the bottom. This is really not hard to do. You really don't need $50,000 worth of equipment. And there you can see on the top, the outside is the negative and the small one in the middle is the positive. Get it in the hole. I can't see the hole. Damn. Now the spacing on these leads isn't quite the same. It's a physically smaller capacitor. So I'm not going to ram it down any lower than that. I'm gonna bend these over and reconnect them and solder them. I can do a much better job without a camera in my mouth and having to worry about, yeah, so that's sort of what it should look like. You ever notice how on any of these videos, there will always be a comment with a timestamp and somebody says, oh, there's a dry joint, there's a bad solder joint at this time. Every single video. It could be a brand new item off the assembly line and there will be a timestamp with a comment that there's a bad solder joint. But yet the thing works perfect. I don't know if that's just a troll thing, like there's people that just are out there trolling that just, oh, I'm going to put a timestamp and say there's a bad solder joint. Yeah, okay, right, there's a bad solder joint. So go ahead, tell me where the bad solder joint is. Post your comment right now where the bad solder joint is. Put a timestamp, post your comment. I think everybody should do that. Just, where is it? Where's the bad solder joint? Every single video. Anyway, I don't need to, I'm going to put on like a podcast or something and just listen to that. Somebody sitting at a desk with a big mic stuck in their face and see what they have to say. And I'm going to just recap this. We don't need another video changing capacitors on the internet. The artificial intelligence has done enough brain drain on that for the next 500,000 years. All right, so here we go. I'm going to just do it and we'll take a look. I'll stop every now and then. We'll do some capacitor comparisons. Well, there were several places where they had one of the leads from the capacitors been over joining two traces together. And I don't know about this one under all the wires. So we're going to turn it on now and see if it explodes or what. I'm almost done. Oh yeah, that looks a little better, doesn't it? So I guess I got that right. Okay, I'm still trying to replace that. That's 1 microfarad at 500 volts. I'm sorry, it's 0.47. It's a half a microfarad at 500 volts. And I thought I got two 1 microfarad at 250 volts, and I thought I got two 1 microfarad at 450 volts. What I was going to do is put the two 1 microfarad at 450 volts in series, but I can't find the other one. Oh, squirt spritzer here. Kind of get these things to scarcosprofulate. And then you got to work them a bunch. I don't know if the tuner needs to be done yet or not. I don't want to take it apart, and I have to throw the shield away. Yeah, we're just spraying all of these. All the hard grease that was in them. It's like 50-year-old grease. It's all dried out and hard. So remember, this is where vertical deflection was when we started these two lines. And this set obviously has instant on, so do not leave this set plugged in. Okay? Oh, wow. Look at these little scoily snoilers in here moving up. That's different. Maybe that's the sound. Yep. That's interesting. So we got a pin cushion issue we need to correct. Oh, there we go. It's a little bleed. I wonder if that's a weak CRT. No, just a little fine tuning. Let's see what we can do here. Let's take a look at this. Grayscale. That looks good, except the convergence looks pretty spot on, except the pin cushion. A little bit too much vertical deflection there. I think we can shrink that down. IF response is good. Damn, we can see it all the way out here. Very good. Of course, our color response is good. Might be a little bit off because this section is brighter than this section. They should be even. You might be able to adjust that. Yeah, you can shift that with the fine tuning. So that looks good. That's our chroma band pass. Very nice. So let me work on the pin cushion and the vertical, dropping the vertical down a little bit. So vertical linearity's down here. Now, a lot of people will overdrive the hell out of the vertical because everything is NTSC widescreen now, and there will be a black bar at the top and bottom, and they think that by cranking the vertical up, they fix that. No, you just drive the hell out of the vertical on the set. Don't do that. Leave the damn black bar. I always tend to underscan them. Because if you ever look at the current, if you ever look at the milliamps running through the transistors or the tubes, the more you overscan it, you just drive the living hell out of the current through the tubes. Don't need to overscan it, just deal with it. The horizontal linearity is not great either, is it? So let's see, pin cushion. It's not bad. Let me adjust that. Okay, pin cushion's right here on the bottom of the board. You can see how that tilts that. Oh, stop it. These sets certainly do work great. I think I have to concede that somewhere here there is a dry joint, because the color level is flickering, and if I just tap on this, well, there it comes. And all of these joints are crappy on this. They all need to be resoldered, and I think I want to get involved in that. I mean, this is horrible. These are the kind of problems that will absolutely drive you completely nuts. These type of problems. Trying to pinpoint this. I just spent an hour and a half resoldering this whole area, and it's still doing it. And I didn't really see any soldered joints. They all look crappy, but I didn't see any rings as I was soldering them. So, and then I tried, there's a few potentiometers here. I cleaned them, sprayed them, and worked them. That didn't seem to do it. It does seem less frequent now. Maybe it's because it seems like it responds to pulling and tapping on this. You know, if I push on it, I don't really find a point. I don't know. Now it seems like it's more down in here. Maybe I'll pull that can off and look in there. I don't see anything under here. I reflowed a couple of the transistors, and yeah, I don't know. These type of problems are so tough because you really don't know if it's a solder joint or a component that's gotten flaky and intermittent. I mean, the more it runs, the more it seems to calm down. So I'm inclined. I've already been here 2.5 hours soldering on this. I'm inclined to just let him use it and see if it calms down or if it gets worse. You can't just spend unlimited time on this stuff, you know. It's just not. It's not realistic. I mean, it still seems to have some intermittent here. Now it certainly seems stable. I don't know. And I just need to use it and see. Again, it is an instant on set, so do not leave it plugged in. Put it on a power strip. Turn it off. You should always have vintage electronics on a power strip anyway. You never want to leave vintage electronics powered up, no matter what. I don't care if it's fully restored or what. You can say it's fully restored and then the power switch will start carbon tracking and it'll burn the house down. Don't risk it. So yeah, it hasn't flickered since we've been here. So I don't know. Got a few more caps to change and then we'll put it back together and watch some TV. So that one right there is a 500 volt, half a microfarad, and I did some experimenting. That one measures 30 ohms ESR. So I tried 250 at 1 microfarad in series. And it's the same thing, 30 ohms, so I'm not going to screw with that. I was going to do 2 450 or in series or a film, just a 0.47, half a microfarad, 630 volt film. But that one measures okay. I got one more to change here, and then I'm going to button this up. How about a little Phil Collins? Murder, She Wrote. I turned the light off. See what else we can find here.
And I just want everyone to see
how
beautiful it is.
See the layers?
Those layers?
And it tastes incredible. All right.
All right, I'm going in
There
for a
it
bite.
comes. Lots of layers.
Lots of layers.
Oh, man.
Or what might happen next.
And they're invisible. They're like a ghost.
They're a ghost. Is this someone across...
At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings, round-the-clock professional care, and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
And let's see if they took that, now confirmed to be Tanzanite pendant home.
I got it connected to DirecTV.
The Blue Air Classic can cost you $3,200.
Oh, I love you.
Let's get out of here.
Oh, they're just Clinko-twinkulated.
And that's when I signed up for LifeLock. I know it will happen again. My information is out there.
You know, anytime you get something like this, it's been probably sitting for 30 years or more. You got to just burn it in. I mean, who knows what problems are going to develop? What kind of junk is that?
Now you can use your Dyson fan. A lot of times, your home might be without power, but your office is not, and you're expected to be somewhere. When we didn't have power the other day, I still had a dental appointment, hence why I am not going to lie, I'm in throbbing pain right now. I should have took a little bit of my medicine before I came out here. I had to have a little surgery the other day. But that still happened. You know, the doctors and dentists weren't closed. I could still
charge my vibrator.
It outside of the fridge, which is amazing. There's my husband.
There's like infinite channels to buy this
These
junk.
are so pretty.
Oh,
if
yes.
you are looking for something that is truly special in a sweater, you found it. Now, we started
A little bit too much horizontal width.
The whole show. That is fabulous. Our second top to
Fabulous.
everything, the number 7.
It's a partially eaten pork chop.
Biden from testifying.
Let me see if I can adjust that width.
After leaving
the building, as you'd imagine, the blue is now.
Okay, it has a. It does have horizontal size adjustment, so I adjusted it, and you can see that everything is good here now. The Christmas tree is like several months ago, but it's still within the frame. Yeah, this is dialed in, man. Look at that picture.
You know what to do. Make the...
Well, I gotta say, these things have an absolutely amazing picture. I mean, for as old as this is, it's almost as good as a direct composite input modern NTSC monitor. Just on, you know, 4:3 non-high resolution. I mean, you look at that. That is so clear. You know, and the colors are just locked right in place. So, I mean, what do we do? Clean all the pots, about 10 capacitors. The whole thing really should be recapped. You know, every capacitor should be changed. But I think this is a keeper here. I think this is worth to the gamer's choice crowd. This is worth quite a bit. Oh, she's going to show us how to use a fire extinguisher here. I'd never figure that out without Home Shopping Network showing me. Look at this. Look at how talented. Look at this. Yeah, you got your lawn chairs. Just got like 6 of them out there.
And then you want to put it out. Now, those holiday trees have now become Valentine's trees and St. Patrick's Day trees and Easter trees. So you want to keep these around, whether it is your wood, your grease, your fabric, your electrical. your motor oil, your gasoline fire, your wood fire. You want to make sure that these are everywhere around your house, by the barbecue, in your car, and everyone should know, and I love what David says best. Take one of the cans. I'm going to actually walk in front of the smoke here so you can see me. I want you to take one of the cans and use it, demo it, show everyone how to use it. Pop the tab, then you're going to put your finger on the trigger and point it right at the fire. This way everyone knows where they are and how to use them, and it takes that fear factor out of it.
Oh yeah, really deep, woman. Really freaking deep.
Winter deal of $33. Typically, it would have cost you $51. You get the $6 and change easy pay.
Oh, look at, you can get it on a payment plan. Easy payments of $6.60.
Just arrived, and you're seeing at this low price. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thanks, Amy. Have a great night.
I'm sorry, but if you get a Christmas tree fire, you don't want that. You want something real.
We had 4 colors when we first started.
Now, what is this nonsense?
2 are gone, and now 2 remain, and we only have 800 in the black, and then 350 in the bronze. This does not tell you what's happening at midnight. Because when I launch something...
This is a great music video, this Beastie Boys music. I missed the good parts.
This is gonna be fun, man.
I'm going to have to chase this flaky color problem a little bit more because it's way out of control. Anyway, I went and photographed the schematic. I dug the schematic at it. It's from 1974, so this TV is 50 years old. Right off the color control, we have a color tracking, and I don't know where that is. I need to try and find that because it certainly acts like a flaky pot. So right off the center of the volume control goes to color tracking. Let me follow the wire. Well, I follow this wire up. It goes to right here. So there's 2 pots on this color tracking. This is it. I mean, there's 2 pots on the picture control, and the rear one must be the color tracking. But you see the color is just going off and on now. So we're going to have to chase this problem down. This is going to be a bitch. Maybe the color killer? I don't think so, though, because we could just disable the color killer. We don't really care about that. So they're taking it off the first video amp here, down into this transformer, then to the chroma bandpass amp, first chroma bandpass amp, then through the color controls, then to the second chroma bandpass. So probably need to start here at the color control and see if can we see that with a scope. So it's not low impedance, it's 500 ohm pot. Should be able to see that with a scope and then start to isolate. Is the problem here? Is it over here? You know, is it before the color control? Is it after the color control? But now the damn thing wants to be stable. That's a weird thing. Okay, well, there's the color signal. I'm on the back of the color control. And if I turn the color signal off, that's what we get. So what I'm doing is I'm watching this, and I see how it jumped there? See, the jump corresponds with the color getting brighter on the screen. See that? So that almost suggests that the problem is before the brightness, before the color control. I hate flaky problems like this. They're so hard. Especially when this thing is so damn intermittent. put it up on its side and tap on it. And now I got it with the ass up so I can tap on it. Ooh, there it went away. The color went away, but it's like we still have it here. That's weird. Okay, there the colors go. Come on, make up your mind, dude. There we go. I don't know what that is. It's like the color information is still sort of there. It just looks like junk. Well, that done it. God, did I bend something over and kill it? Yeah, that done got... Oh, there it is. Yeah, if I flex this board, that has got to be a bad solder joint. Video in low resolution. Well, this is interesting. I'm on the collector of this transistor, the first chroma bandpass, and you can see the color information there. And I got this now where I can reliably pull up on the circuit board, and you can see that the color information, it's hard to get both of these in frame, but that this just gets a little bit smaller. So it's like the problem is between here and this is almost like a fracture in the board, because I can just put the screwdriver right here and just push it like this. See that? But locating it is damn near impossible. Alright, well, I think I'm getting closer. So, like I said, you're not losing it here going into the color control. You're losing it over here. So I'm on the collector of the second amp right now. And when I put the screwdriver in here and tweak the board, you see that? So the problem's almost got to be right here somewhere. Okay, I believe I'm getting closer. I'm measuring right here. Should have 18 volts here, and I should have about 12 there. And that is right by where I'm pushing, and I have no color signal right now, so R348 which is right between here and here. So if I measure here, I have 5.4 volts, and if I stick the screwdriver and rock the board, it goes up to where it should. So I need to look at the base of that transistor. Here is this the base right here? Base is 2 volts. Okay, if I rock that, the base drops down a little. The base drops down a little. Does the emitter go up? Let's see. That's back to the collector. That's no color. That's color. The emitter. The emitter goes down. Ooh, I got to think about that for a minute. The emitter goes down and the collector goes up. The emitter goes down and the collector goes up. Okay, that would suggest that the bias... See, the emitter goes up. Hold on. Let me get my brain here. Hold on. Okay, so the collector goes up. The emitter goes down. So that would almost suggest that the bias is changing. That the base goes down. That would suggest that something is changing and the transistor is being turned off more. But man, it's certainly not much. From 2.05 to 1.9. Maybe that's enough though. Well, I believe I found it. I found a little tin whisker here on the transistor, and I already scraped it off, so you won't see it, but it's good now. It's solid. It's rock solid. So we'll just have to see if that fixed it. A frickin' tin whisker on a circuit board. And when I would flex it, it would touch. I could just barely see it in a magnifying glass. Geez, man, I can't believe that was it. Damn! A frickin' tin whisker! Well, I think I can put a wrap on this. I've been letting it do this for 15 minutes and it's rock solid now. So, yeah, it's a banger, man. It's lit. It's a lit banger. So I'm going to put the back on it and get it back to its owner, and he can make Happy Sunshine Smiley Face video game extravaganza.